changes to the format. And I'm hoping that Wizards have learnt their lesson from not hinting at a ban and restricted and then posting it out going, surprise, we don't want to ban anything because everything's awesome. If you're going to announce a ban and restricted, there'd better be some banned, restricted, unbans on it. With that in mind, let's consider what Wizards might be banning next coming day. Well, first off, Standard. I don't have much experience with Standard. I've heard it's okay at the moment, so I'm not going to touch on something I'm not familiar with. Modern. Modern is the one where people think that there's going to be a massive shake-up. A lot of people are expecting something to happen now prior to Modern Horizons 3 coming out. Biggest pointer here, as you can see, is that Cascade decks are literally a quarter of the meta right now. And yeah, it is rough. You are, on average, if you play a league, probably going to do 2 games of Cascade. People have said that there's other potential bans. People are saying that we might see Leyline go because this is what powered up Rhinos even more. So if we look at our Rhinos list here, as you see, most people now are running the Leyline of the Guild Pact to power up the Draco to make their Rhinos indestruct, hexproof, trampling, first striking, all the crazy stuff, vigilance. Now, looking at the current deck list, a lot of people have said that they want to see the Violent Outburst banned because obviously it's instant speed and it lets you cascade into Rhinos on the opponent's end step, holding up 0 mana interaction with the Force of Negation. And that's a solid argument, but I would like to make the counter argument: why are we still holding on to Force of Negation? Now, Force of Negation was printed at a time when we had Simian Spirit Guides and one of the, not premier decks, but one of the decks which is pretty obvious, and one of the literal things that the designers said when they previewed Force of Negation was, this is a response to turn 0 decks that literally throw out a Chalice on 1 at turn 0 to give other decks a chance to not be prison locked right away because we don't like that. That's a valid argument. I played Boris Prison back in the day. I can say that there was, even when you lock someone out like a burn player on turn 1 with a turn 1 Chalice, wasn't cool, wasn't as fun. But let me ask you this: where are those decks now? We lost every producing fast mana thing. We lost the Mox Amber, not Mox Amber, we lost the Mox. For Affinity, we've lost Simian Spirit Guide. There is no turn 1 lock prison piece now. All this card serves to do is to protect instant speed win matches. And so all it does is protect, like here, instant speed combo potentials, and at the same time negate any sorcery interaction that might be impactful in the game. The reason I'm raising this is I believe that what we'll see is if we see like another combo deck emerge from Modern Horizons 3, then we'll see the same thing again. We'll see a Force of Negation that will protect the combo decks from Thoughtseize on turn 1. I genuinely think this should be the card to be removed from the format. I think we should still give Rhinos the opportunity to go hasty, but we shouldn't give them the instant free protection. That's my controversial opinion. I honestly, though, think that the banned will be Violent Outburst to power down but not hurt the deck. But my argument, obviously, is Force Negation would also power down but not hurt the deck. The other scenario is they ban Leyline, which would be literally, if they ban Leyline, I'm going to say this would be our jump to Legacy. And for those of you who know this, Legacy has a tendency to just ban the new hot thing because they don't want to touch any of the established cards. For example, they banned the free mana initiative creature because it was breaking their format. But it was breaking their format because they have a long-standing history of soul lands, moxes, insane first mana that can cast a 5 mana, 4 mana spell on turn 0, uncounterable. But you know, that's not the problem. A free mana creature from Commander is the problem. So if we just ban the Leyline because the new card has changed I'm going to say it. That will be our jumping into Legacy, where we'll never see established stuff banned. We'll just see the new stuff in banned to quote unquote power down. But with that said, that's my opinion on thing. Could we see any unbans? I think we might see a glimpse of nature unban if I'm going to take a risk on something. If one thing was going to be unbanned, they'll never unban Twin. They will never let go that they made a mistake banning Twin there, I think. As well as the fact we have Force of Negation now to protect the... there's no Twin going to come down. With Subtlety obviously as well, to protect as well. But with that said, let's move on to the next format we're going to look at, which is Pioneer. Pioneer, I think, is in an okay pace. The only cards I would consider maybe looking out for, like I always say, the dredge cards, basically Treasure Cruise, is literally, I'd say, halfway up the Executioner's steps every banning announcement, because Is It Phoenix is always S tier, and every time they get a new cantrip, it's going to be pushed up. But aside from that, I think that the only thing we might see is what I would call conformity bans. There is part of me that thinks we could see a Lotus Field get something took out of it. Lotus Field has crept up the meta again, and I've seen from online there's a lot of discourse that people aren't just a fan of the interaction, because it's basically just a Storm deck. And, well, Wizards have worked really hard to destroy Storm in Modern, so I can't see them forever supporting a Storm deck in Pioneer. But I don't think they'll touch anything this time. If anything, the only other thing I'm potentially concerned about is the Abzan Amelia combo here. Now, I don't think this combo is broken, but one thing I've noticed as an insane amount of discourse is people are intentionally, particularly on Arena, so this might be an Explorer ban, people are actually messing with the Amelia combo in a way which I think is kind of messed up. So for those of you who don't know, there is a ruling that Amelia has to mill a card if she gets locked into an infinite loop, but it doesn't break the loop. So here's the deal, basically. If you end up in a loop in a game state, it is a draw, because which is one of the decisions I've never agreed with. Like, if a player locks into an infinite trigger, so for example, let's just say for some insane reason this player sacrifices the Savior to protect the Wildgrowth Walker, and then triggers life gain with Amelia. They'll go to the combo, they'll go to 20, Amelia blows up the board, which is where the combo should break. Obviously the indestructible Wildgrowth Walker stays. She's then locked, and she will never, because they're not May triggers, she will never break this combo. So it's one of the things I've never understood. Okay, you as a player have ended up locked and locked yourself out of the game, so why is that a draw? Like I always say, if you've negated yourself into an effing, you've shot yourself in the head, you're not gonna win the game. So what I'm saying is, I feel this could potentially see a ban, potentially Wildgrowth Walker, because one other thing is Amelia's trigger only goes off at exactly 20. And one thing that's been happening, apparently, I haven't seen it happen, is a lot of decks that have the potential, so mainly the Boros Heroic deck is apparently the worst for this, is they will wait till Amelia's about to hit the 20 and then use one of their pump spells to shoot her over it like a Monstrous Rage. So then all of a sudden she never triggers and the opponent is locked into a forever combo. Which, I don't know how that works on Arena. I'm guessing the timer runs out eventually, because I've never seen a draw trigger, unless it was from a disconnect. So, I'm concerned that for the health of Arena, the combo might be banned, but they will obviously say that it's not for the sake of Arena, it's going to be because we don't want to see this interaction of, intentionally tying games. The other thing I will say for the final little rant here, because I've gone on a lot longer than I thought I would, is this is also going to be the big test for me for Timeless. I've said before that Timeless has dropped off for me. Like, it's settled into what it is. But here's the big thing I say. If there's no mention of Timeless in this banned and restricted announcement, then literally my argument, I'm going to stand by it, is that Wizards just wanted to make you craft fetch lands, and they're going to leave the format to rot. Because, from what I've seen in Discourse Online, show and tell just needs to be restricted. Now, we've had... is there anything else in the format that needs to be restricted? I've heard things that they want Winota restricted. Apparently Winota's coming back in force. Another one is the Titan and the Field of the Dead. But all in all, as said here, show and tell, Sultai show and tell with Omniscience is currently the destroying the meta, apparently. Well, according to online discourse. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of Historic, I don't play it. Timeless, I don't play it. But yes, so look out on Monday, because this is the big test for Timeless. If we don't see any action taken against this format, genuinely, I don't think Wizards will ever take action against it. Also, it will be very interesting to see, because if they go with the restricted thing, I'm very interested in their refund policy. So if they restrict show and tell to one copy, will they refund the players that crafted a full playset or not? Because the card's not banned, in quotation marks. So yeah, that's my predictions to summarize for the banned and restricted. I think we're going to see Violent Outburst banned in Modern. I think we will see nothing banned in Pioneer. I don't think they'll take the action yet. I think the Amelia thing is fringe enough they won't mess with it. And Timeless, I'm going to say that Wizards are going to restrict show and tell. Because I want to believe that this format can thrive for all the people that love it. And I never like seeing a format drop dead and die. Standard, I've got no idea. But that's it. So let's, with bated breath, we wait for the next banned and restricted.